Good morning, everybody. Welcome back from Salman Scott Selections here for Saturday, May 27th. For again today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had no action. Give it a look at play for Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. So if you want some basketball action on Saturday, check out the video before this one. But for today's play, going to look ahead to the French Open, which will be starting on Sunday at roughly 5 a.m. Eastern Time. So starting off with the actual play, it's going to be a two-pick parlay. And we're going to take two massive favorites, and we're going to parlay them to win by a large margin. So we're going to take Djokovic to win 3-0 in his match, or Djokovic to win in straight sets. And we're going to parlay that with Rune to win his match in straight sets. And that two-pick pays out at minus 114 on DraftKings. Time recording of Saturday, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. So a couple reasons why we're going to take Djokovic to win his match in straight sets. I'm going to start off with the Djokovic match, then move over to the Rune match. So first things first, we know Djokovic is one of the best players of all time, arguably the best player of all time, and he's also a minus 8,000 favorite on the money line in this match. Now, Djokovic has been very consistent in the French Open in his career, as he has reached the quarterfinals in each of the last 13 French Opens. He's gone beyond that, but I'm saying bare minimum, he's reached the quarters in 13 straight. He's never lost in the first round in his French Open career, and as a result, I do think he should be able to take advantage of a relatively easy opponent in the first round. I do know Djokovic's recent form has not exactly been great on clay, but he's still facing off against ATP level competition, and he's facing off against solid players. Kovacevic is, for the most part, a challenger level player who occasionally jumps up to the ATP, but he's a young American, really awful on clay, just simply put. Kovacevic this year is 0-6 straight up on clay, and he's 6-12 straight up in his career on clay. But to look at the actual matchups this season that he's had, reading off the names of the opponents that have beaten him on clay, you'll understand what I mean when I say that he's probably going to get buried in this match. So he lost to Mager, Napolitano, Taro Daniel, Brower, Hard, Zekic, and Momo. I'm sure some of you, if you don't follow tennis, probably never heard of those guys. Maybe Taro Daniel. The point is, a lot of those guys are challenger level players, and Kovacevic has constantly gotten beaten by them on clay. I think Djokovic mops the floor with him. I think that he potentially wins a set 6-0 in there, but I think he's going to bury Kovacevic. Djokovic, I know I'd say arm issues have been noticeable, but I will point out he has not played in over a week. He's been resting up the arm, and I do think that that might impact him in longer matches or maybe as the tournament progresses. But in the first round, after not playing since the 17th, I do think Djokovic will be coming out fresh, and I think he'll be able to beat up on a very weak clay player. But a big reason why I'm going to take Djokovic, besides the actual talent disparity, is going to be the actual odds, because DraftKings went off the reservation with this price. So Djokovic to win 3-0 is minus 285. And you might be thinking, well, that sounds expensive. Not really, since he's minus 8,000 on the money line. So I think minus 285 sounds pretty cheap, and shopping around it is. FanDuel has Djokovic to win in straight sets at minus 410, and BetMGM has Djokovic to win 3-0 at minus 450. So you're saving roughly $1.70 just by shopping around, which I'll gladly do, and I definitely think that this Djokovic line is mispriced, so I'll bet him to win in straight sets. And moving over to the Rune match, he's taking on another American in Eubanks, who's also not very good on clay. Rune, though, is a very good clay court player, one of the best clay court players in the world. He made the French Open quarters last year, and what's crazy about that is that was his first ever French Open. So he's proven time and time again he's an elite player on clay, and he's going to be a future top 5 guy for a long time. But he's very good on clay, and Eubanks has not been good, and he really has not even bothered to practice that much on clay. Eubanks has only played in 2 clay matches this season, and they were within the last week or two. So he's relatively, I'd say, raw when it comes to clay tennis, and for good reason. A, he's American. Most Americans don't really fare that well on clay. B, he's a big server, and that's basically it. So his overall style of play doesn't translate well to clay, and because of that, he's 6-10 straight up on clay in his career. But Eubanks' last match, he faced off against Zverev, and he got absolutely buried. He lost that match 6-2, 6-3. So I think you're going to see something similar here. Rune's a great returner, and if Eubanks won't be able to bomb serves past people, I think Rune is going to simply put wear down Eubanks over rallies. Eubanks hits a bunch of unforced errors, tries to unload the forehand, but his unforced error count can get very high, and I think as a result, Rune will once again win comfortably on clay, and he'll try to potentially win the whole tournament, because Djokovic and Rune are 2 of the lower odds players to win the event. Djokovic significantly lower odds than Rune, but you get my point. The point is we're going to back 2 of the projected I'd say, serious candidates to win the event against two very weak opponents in the first round to win comfortably. Now, would it shock me if Eubanks, in theory, won a tiebreaker? I wouldn't say it would shock me, but I would still be a bit surprised because Eubanks, I'm not sure, is going to be able to hold against Rune based on how good Rune's looked on clay so far this year. And once again, Kovacevic is completely useless on clay. So simply put, I'm going to go with two of the bigger favorites in the first round to win comfortably in the French Open en route to a nice two-pick parlays. Play that once again here for Saturday, May 27th is going to be on Djokovic and Rune to each win their matches 3-0 or in straight sets at -114 on DraftKings. Bye, everyone.